The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Breaking news.
West Bloomfield, Michigan, the driver who rammed the vehicle into Temple Israel Synagogue and preschool is dead following the massive police response. Shots were fired. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach me live this hour, 800-848-9222. The person who intentionally rammed their car into a school entrance in Michigan at a Jewish synagogue is dead following the massive police response, and there were reports of shots being fired. Mamdani, the first Muslim mayor of New York City. Folks, this goes beyond growing pains. This is just not working, and it's not going to work, and nothing is going to change for the better. Mamdani has the nerve, the audacity to claim now, this phony politician, that he was defending free speech by hosting divisive Mahmoud Khalil at Gracie Mansion, the former Columbia University grad student who became the early poster boy for President Trump's immigration ramp-up after he was detained by ICE for months. Remember, he was the leader of all of those ugly protests up at Columbia University where Jewish young people, Jewish students were afraid to go to class. And the mayor of this city invites him to Gracie Mansion, while the police officers that literally jumped over barricades and were standing literally near a bomb, the mayor did nothing to honor them. And adding insult to injury, the migrant who shoved two onto the New York City subway tracks. This guy had been deported 4 times, has a rap sheet of 15 arrests. 15 arrests. Now he's being charged with attempted murder, attempted assault, and reckless endangerment 2 days after he pushed 2 people, including an 83-year-old Air Force veteran, Richard Williams, onto the tracks at the Lexington Avenue 63rd Street station on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. 800-848-9222. Let's start with the situation in West Bloomfield, Michigan. For a while, Jewish organizations nationwide were told to go on lockdown.
All Jewish organizations to go into, quote, lockout protocol, I guess out of an abundance of caution, just in case somebody else were to be targeting a synagogue somewhere else, either in the state or somewhere else across the country.
And that was from Fox News. And the driver is confirmed dead. This also from the same report, Fox News.
All right, so just a little bulletin here, just to add to what was just reported now. I'm hearing from a senior law enforcement source that the person who was driving the vehicle, the alleged shooter, is reported to be dead. So we had the alert from the sheriff that the suspect was not in custody. I'm being told by a senior law enforcement official that the suspect is believed to be dead.
In a moment, you'll hear Mamdani's sorry excuse for why he had this divisive figure over for dinner at Gracie Mansion. He's only been the mayor for 3 months. And I'm not going to go on my tirade about another candidate that delivered this to us. But this is why we're in this situation. And that candidate won't say anything critical of Mamdani. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. I'm going to zip up on that topic. This from the Michigan sheriff, who says 0 injuries are reported, and again, except for the shooter.
Guys, can you say anything about any potential casualties, anyone hurt?
Nobody at the moment has been confirmed to be hurt. Except potentially the shooter.
Any ties potentially to terrorism with the president? That's
still way early to talk about. We have no idea because we don't even know who the person is at the moment.
Has that person been neutralized?
We don't have that person in custody.
So they're still on the run?
It's a work in progress. So that's why we're sheltering in place until we figure it out. It's a big facility with a lot of land around it. Until that gets secured and everybody's comfortable that there's no active threat in that spot, stay away from it, shelter in place.
We're told there's a daycare school. Are all those kids out?
Yeah, everybody's been moved out of the school. We've got a ton of people here. As I said, West Bloomfield got on scene in a heartbeat. Everybody else came from everywhere. Actually, the chief and I have been communicating for almost 2 weeks. Every time I've gotten some intelligence from the national level, I've been sharing. We've been talking for 2 weeks about the potential, sadly, of this happening.
And so that's what the sheriff had to say prior to all the facts coming in, but still an ongoing situation in Michigan. Let's switch now, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes. Let's switch to New York City. And folks, you know, the luxury that I bring to the job is perspective, historical perspective. New York has had 2 African-American mayors, right? And now the city has its first Muslim mayor. There's no other way to say this. Why is Mamdani trying to throw his faith in our faces every chance he gets? The 2 black mayors of New York City, David Dinkins and Eric Adams, they didn't throw in our face the fact that they are African American every chance they get. So what did Mamdani do at the People's House, Gracie Mansion? This is how he started. Or maybe it was City Hall where he did this. I want to make sure I got this factually correct. But this is how he actually started Ramadan.
The reason that I love Ramadan so much is for everything else that it means, for the time of reflection, the time of focus, and really a time where you understand yourself as part of something larger than just as an individual. And even just having you all here today, even just sitting on the floor, the transformation of a space that I've only ever known in one way, frankly, it is a gift. And it's a real joy to have you all here.
And so that was the mayor at City Hall with all the praying rugs. They literally converted part of City Hall so that they can have a Muslim prayer. Now, okay, you had 2 black mayors. You have now a Muslim mayor. Why is it the black mayors didn't do things to greatly offend people? He's throwing this in our eye every chance he gets. And so now this phony politician is claiming that he's got the nerve, the cojones, to say he was defending free speech by hosting divisive Mahmoud Khalil at Gracie Mansion, right? He led all of those Columbia University protests. And why is he saying it now? We're starting to see a trend. He does the Muslim thing whatever he wants to do, and then he's forced to respond, but he doesn't change his behavior going forward. And we've got 3 more years and 7 months to deal with this guy. This is just not working. This is Mamdani today on why he had the nerve to bring this guy to break bread. And he still hasn't broke bread with the 2 hero police officers, but to bring this guy to Gracie Mansion.
As the mayor of New York City, I believe it is my responsibility to fight for the safety and for the rights of each and every New Yorker. Mahmoud Khalil is a New Yorker who 1 year prior to the iftar that we shared with him was returning from another iftar when he was detained by ICE agents, flown to Louisiana, and held in an ICE facility. And he was held there for months, and the only charge that was levied against him was the exercising of his First Amendment rights. And I have long maintained that he and any New Yorker should be able to exercise their First Amendment rights in this city without fear of the kind of punishment that was inflicted upon him. And it's a punishment that many of us have quantified in the days that he was held in an ICE facility and the fact that his case continues to be ongoing. But also in that moment, it was a punishment that I understood more personally, given the fact that he missed the birth of his first child. And I think that it is critical that every New Yorker know that I will stand up for their right to exercise their First Amendment rights.
And now I say to all of you, you honestly prefer that over Cuomo? You prefer that over Cuomo as your mayor? Look at what this guy is doing. Look at what he's turning this city into. Unapologetic. Let's start with your telephone calls. 800-848-9222. Robert in Queens, line 3. Robert, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I was going to say, according to the mayor, Islamophobia and white supremacy is a bigger problem than anti-Semitism. And if he cares about free speech, why doesn't he invite one of the Jewish students in the college when they're protesting against Israel to his house for a meal?
That's a great point, Robert. That's a invite one of the students, the Jewish students that's suing the city of New York. Why didn't he invite them to? Oh, okay. Let's say, Robert, you don't want to go there. The NYPD heroes. Why didn't he invite them over for dinner? Robert, help me out. Why would anybody in their right mind? This guy, the guy that led the protest, he's still in all likelihood going to be deported. And he still could be arrested. Why would you invite this guy to Gracie Mansion for a Ramadan meal?
The other question is even better. It's like, well, he was supporting Hamas and he was protesting against Israel. So why not invite somebody who, like you said, a Jewish student, right? So it doesn't make sense.
Robert, thank you for the call. Folks, this is just not going to work out. It's not going to, it's so cute. We just elected our first Muslim mayor. His name is Zohran Mamdani, and he's so cute, and he's so smart, and he's young. He's 34 years old. This is not going to work out. This is not going to work. It's not going to work. Every day he's giving us a big FU. Period. There's no other way to say it. Jay, line 5, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Jay?
Hey, Dominic. I see Curtis now has a new gig on a competing network, and I just want to ask you, you talk about once in a while, I don't know if you say it outright, but you have implied that you think Curtis had a deal with Mamdani to help get him elected. And
I didn't imply. I said it directly. I didn't imply. I said it directly. But what's your point?
What would that deal be? Because I don't see any critical.
It's going to come out eventually. Have you seen that candidate criticize Mamdani on anything?
I have not, and I'm not even saying it's not true. I'm just curious what you think that Curtis's half the deal is.
I really don't want to focus on him. I really don't. But I am going to say this. He's an angry old man. He's angry at the world, and he decided he was going to take us down with him. Meaning that candidate. And that's exactly what he did because he's old and angry and upset at the world. It is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Breaking news.
And of course, we are continuing to follow the story out of West Bloomfield, Michigan. The person who intentionally rammed their car into a school entrance at a synagogue, a preschool, is dead. Apparently took his own life following a massive police response and reports of shots fired. Chaotic scene. Right now, we are talking about that and Mamdani. Folks, I tried with goodwill to see if this could work. This is not going to work. It's not going to work. And I thought about this all last night. What's so different this time? We've had different mayors before. We've had 2 black mayors. Did they walk around every day saying, come to Harlem and dine with me at Sylvia's and we're going to do this and this, or also black traditions every day? This is not going to work with this guy. It's not going to work. He's too offensive. He's doing too many things. He's trying to throw his faith down our throats, and it's not going to work. Let's go to line 3, Ellen in Manhattan. Ellen, what's on your mind?
First of all, Dominic, I love your Mamdani. I think you should patent that. That makes me laugh in a very dark time. I think this guy is a plant. I wish somebody would do a deep dive into exactly where he came from and what happened on the Upper East Side. This is going to be the new norm. He's one note. This is all he's going to talk about: defending criminals, defending people that break the law. It's just going to be constant. I can't believe he's mayor. It just blows my mind. It's so sad. And I don't want to hear we deserve it. We don't deserve it.
No, we don't deserve it, and we didn't select this. The deck was stacked. It was stacked, and we don't deserve this. Ellen, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Jake, line 5 in Queens. What's on your mind, Jake?
Hi, Dominic. You keep blaming the wrong person for the New York's problems. It's Cuomo and Adams and Hochul. They're the ones that caused this problem. The other
Okay,
guy
so wait, Jake. What about getting out of the race for the better of the city when you knew you weren't going to win?
It still wouldn't have mattered.
No, can you answer the question? I want you to answer the question. The president had told you had no shot. The money crowd told you had no shot. But your ego, angry because your career was, and this is the truth, all right? And let me just put this in perspective. So the reason why I am annoyed is one day I left from visiting my aunt. My aunt that raised me is dying, and it's not a pretty process. Not a pretty process. And I had just left the hospital, the nursing home. And that was an experience in itself. And I don't do well with death. There's some people that can handle it. I'm not one of them. And my family, whenever this comes around, it's my wife that handles this. I was in the Persian Gulf on assignment when my grandfather died. My wife is the one that buried him. And so I turn on the radio, and this person, their first appearance, and he went, I just left my dying aunt, and he went personal in his attack on me. Now, I've never gone personal. Do you know how many things I could say? You folks don't know half of it. You know the game that he ran on the radio, but you don't know the real person. I do. And so when you say I'm blaming the wrong person, so Jake, okay, listen, if you said Cuomo and Hochul, I don't see how Hochul's to blame. How's Hochul to blame for this?
Hochul's in charge of the Democratic Party for New York. She can remove Mandami at any time.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. See, I thought you were going to make sense. That's ridiculous. You think she's going to cut her own throat to please you, me, or anybody else? That's just naive. Absolutely naive. Time for a break. We're taking your live calls. 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network. Breaking news.
And we are continuing to follow the situation out of West Bloomfield, Michigan. The driver who rammed his car into Temple Israel Synagogue and preschool is dead following the massive police response. This from CBS News.
One immediate concern, one broader concern. First of all, the sheriff, who's been there for decades, said that there's somebody suspected of opening fire at a Jewish facility. That person has not been caught, so they've had to boost their presence at other facilities, religious facilities throughout Oakland County, Michigan. So there is somebody being sought who potentially is targeting religious facilities. That's the immediate concern. The broader concern comes from FBI bulletins we've been reading over the last few weeks and months. They have been issuing warnings from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security about extra potential targeting of Jewish institutions across America. In just the recent months, they warned that foreign terrorist organizations may try to exploit narratives related to the conflict in the Middle East to inspire attacks in the United States by Americans. That warning has gone to local police and other federal officials nationwide. Also in recent months, they've warned of increased bomb threats by malicious actors targeting Jewish facilities, community centers, schools, other religious institutions, all of that in recent months. And none of this is happening in a vacuum, Tony. It was in June in Boulder, Colorado, where several people at a pro-Israel gathering were attacked. And it was just months ago here in Washington, D.C., where 2 Israeli embassy staffers were shot and killed. The man responsible, according to the feds, is facing trial.
Some perspective there. That was before the situation was quote unquote under control in Michigan. So the driver of the vehicle is dead, apparently suicide. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, Dominic Carter, here with you. Liz Rosenblatt. Liz says, I don't see any ramming vehicles attacking mosque. So is it still Islamophobia? That's a good point there. And the reason why, folks, why I'm saying that, and I'm about to go to Gracie in Rockland County. I think she's in California right now. But the reason why I'm saying that this is not going to work with Mamdani is I want you to look at what's happening to the NYPD these days, what's being shouted at them, including Muslim American officers, what they're dealing with, and as far as these crazy protesters.
Officers! We need the badges of the pigs! We need the badges of the pigs! So to the Rahmans and the Mohammeds! To the Rahmans and the Mohammeds! To the Alis and the Abdullahs! To the Alis and the Abdullahs! To the Rafids! To the Rafids! To the Rafids! To the Rafids! To the pigs! To the pigs! Who can call themselves by the name of Islam? Who can call themselves by the name of Islam? To the Mohammeds! To the Mohammeds! Put some respect on that name! 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 La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! Shahid Habib Allah!
And so, in effect, what's going on with a wink, wink, and a nod, Mamdani is in empowering these protesters, even against Muslim American police officers. Mamdani, with a wink, wink, and a nod, is telling them, I got your back. He's not telling the NYPD, I got your back. He's telling this group of whatever you want to call them. And I just, you know, a caller a few minutes ago said I was blaming the wrong person. No, I'm not. To think that Hochul would step in and put Mamdani in check, that just proves you don't understand politics. And then that means you were just wasting my time. No governor is going to step in within their quote unquote own party and remove the first, the popular first Muslim American mayor from office. Not in an election year. That's just unrealistic. So to all of you that like to call up, I think, Bob, how bad Cuomo is, would he have been this bad? Would he have been this bad? And here's the truth. So again, I'm annoyed and angry because I had just finished seeing my dying aunt, and she's still hanging in there, but it's not pretty. And I get in the car to drive home, and here's Mr. Sliwa on another radio station going personal against me. When I had his back for 15 years at New York One, and they wanted to dump him because he was unorthodox, unconventional. They felt he was a con man. They didn't even want him in the building. And I went to bat for him. They said he was a sleazebag. These are exact terms that they use, management, to me. And I went to bat for him because using my popularity to keep him on board. And then you're going to turn around and stab me in the back? The truth of the matter is this, folks, all of us in broadcasting, our best day sometimes is life is going to move on. Life is going to move on for me, from every other broadcaster. And it moved on for Mr. Sliwa a long time ago. He was just in denial about it. And so that's why he went on, oh, Dominic Carter went to the Curtis Sliwa Academy. Are you kidding me? No offense, folks. I have a college degree, 2 as a matter of fact. What academy would I be going through from some street hustler like you? That's the truth. And please, I'm issuing this warning shot. Don't ever go personal again, because if you do, I'm going to tell all your dirt. And you and I both know that between all them wives and all those affairs and everything else, that there's enormous dirt in your background. Now, you used to get on the radio and pretend to be a man of the people, and we all played along because, frankly, some of us felt sorry for you. Like me, and that's the truth. I went to the Curtis Sliwa Academy. Are you kidding me? What happened was he saw my career taking off. He had blocked me for 10 years from getting into this station. For 10 years, he had single-handedly blocked me. And then when he saw my enormous success, he wanted to take the credit. I went to his academy. And so I just hope, folks, I'll just leave you with this, and then I'm going to go to your calls. Notice he won't say anything condemning Mamdani. Why is that? Why won't he hold he calls a news conference when he's got to blow his nose. So why won't he call a news conference condemning Mamdani? Ask yourself that question. But when you ask the question, be able to answer it. He took the entire city down with him because he's bitter, old, and couldn't accept the fact that life had passed him on. That's the truth. And it's going to happen to me too. But the difference with me is I will ride off into the sunset. Happily so. Let's go to Gracie, line 2, Rockland County, New York. Gracie, what's on your mind?
Okay, I want to say something about why Mamdani's doing what he's doing. But I got to California last night, and we're driving, from the airport. I saw with my little eyes gas. Of course, this was the 4 levels. 609 for cash.
609.
And in the residential, yes, the residential area of Burbank.
Wow.
Not even near the airport. Okay, that's number one. So I'll be here to report from California with the fruits and the nuts. Okay, now, basically, why is Mamdani doing what he's doing? My opinion, it's a little follow-up to the first person that called, the lady. I didn't remember her name. This is the overall plan to make so much havoc in the country that people like you and me are going to get so disgusted that we're going to go wild too. And then there's going to be the caliphate takeover of the country. All right? Their goal with the Muslims, the religious Muslims, I don't care what you say. I'm a religious Catholic, fine. I know the crusade. Enough, all right. But what their plan is, they want to get to the sea, the Red Sea, the river to the sea. But not only the Mediterranean Sea, they want to go from the river all the way to the other ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. They want to go all across. They want to have what they had before Isabella and Ferdinand. I know I'm giving you a history lesson, which you don't like, but that is my plan. They just want to incite, because it's going to come to the point that a person like me that is going to go completely crazy and say, holy Toledo, I got to worry about my grandchildren. All right?
Well, I'm at that point now, Gracie.
You are, I know, but keep your sugar low. Keep your sugar. You're still young.
No, Gracie.
You know what I mean?
Gracie, listening to you and Liz, I woke up today, this darn thing, the thing beeping, your sugar is low. And it was low. It was below 60. So, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but then I woke up and these spikes, and then it's, But Gracie, as always, thank you for the wonderful call, and be careful out there in California. Hey, tell Kamala we said hello, okay, while you're out there.
Okay. I love you.
Love you too, Gracie. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Andrew, line 3, Toronto, Canada. What's on your mind, Andrew?
Dominic, it's an honor, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy to follow Gracie. It's called Islamic imperialism. And Mark Stein, amongst others, who Bo worked for, wrote a book over a decade ago called Twilight of the West. It all comes down to birth rate, and people are just not having enough babies, right? So the Muslims, they can have 4 or 5 kids per family, so on. It's a matter of numbers, and it's going to be a number takeover at some point in time. But it's the attitude of people like Mamdani. It's the attitude of, do you think if I went to Pakistan with a bunch of Christians that we're going to pray somewhere? Like in Toronto, we have, just like in New York, it's constant. They block streets, and this has got nothing to do with anti-Islamic or anti-whatever. I'm not going to do that. It's a show of force, and that's exactly what it is. It's not free speech. It's a show of force. show force.
I hear you, Andrew, and thank you for the call. To do that at New York City Hall and then make social media videos and post it. Let's go to Judith, line 5 in Brooklyn. Judith, what's on your mind?
Oh, God, what's on my mind is unreal. I need a deep breath, deep breath. Okay, listen. After 9/11, Muslims wanted to put up a mosque. Do you remember that? Instead of the towers, which is like, injury, insult to injury. Well, now we have a walking, talking Muslim New York mayor creating a mosque in Gracie Mansion with Muslim agendas. And let me tell you, those crazy ladies that you played, 22 Arab Muslim countries. And what they want to do is turn this country to the 23rd from a Judeo-Christian country into a 23rd Arab Muslim Sharia-loving country. And that's what this is all about. And I have to tell you about Mr. and Mrs. Mandami. When they are deniers, they deny October 7th. They deny the Holocaust. And Russ from Thing, you want proof of October 7th? You give me proof there was slavery in America, because we know there was slavery in America, and we know October 7th happened. And Mrs. Mandami, you moron with Holocaust, what do you think Germany is doing? For years, they've been paying reparations to survivors of Holocaust, Jewish survivors that suffered like crazy. You think the German government have nothing but to do but to pay these people money? Because the Holocaust did happen. And I'm fuming, okay? I never met my grandparents. You know why? Because they were slaughtered and killed in the gas chambers and put into ovens. And my aunt, who's not alive, she told me when she went to Auschwitz, one of her jobs was to take these dead people and take their gold teeth out of their mouth. And she came across her dead mother, my grandmother. So you piece of crap over there, don't you dare say there's no such thing as a Holocaust, okay? Because now I'm very emotional and I'm taking it personally. And you know something? And the same thing with slavery in America. When I heard about that, that is outrageous. That's outrageous what they did to African Americans. And it's just as outrageous as they do to Jewish people, and it's outrageous as they do to all human beings. And you know what? All of you radical Islamist piece of crap that you want to turn this country into something like the same country you came from, go back to your 22 stupid countries over there and take your agenda there where it belongs, not here. Thank you, Dominic. I'm sorry. I'm very upset.
I understand. Thank you for the call, Judith. On that note, it is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. You know, New York elected its first Muslim American mayor. And at the end of the day, this is just not going to work. It's not going to work. Folks, there's got to be a way, and there is no way. The only way is Governor Hochul, and the chances of her removing Mamdani from office, you got a better chance of winning Lotto for $1 billion than her removing him from office. It's not going to happen. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex. Patty says, Dominic TV, we all have dirty little secrets. Me too. Wow, you too, Patty? Getting messy. Never understood Cuomo re-enter after loss. It is what it is. Ugly to watch both sides. Right, but we're the ones that stuck with the problem. Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island. Debbie says, Dom, the third candidate didn't get out because he hated Cuomo and stayed in, so he would lose too. He did not love our city like he professed in his rants. That's obvious. And his silence against Mamdani says it all and goes after you show his character. Now, well, Debbie, I'm trying to leave the individual alone, but when he went personal against me, talking all that garbage on the radio, talking about I went to the Curtis Sliwa Academy. Dude, stop hating, trying to get in on my career. You had your career. You blew your career. You know damn well I ain't go to no Curtis Sliwa Academy of what? How to be a con man? That's all it would be. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Line 2, Marco in New Jersey. What's on your mind, Marco?
Yeah, just 2 comments, and I'll hang up. So why does it seem that when Democrats are in office, we have an uprising, like white supremacist terrorist attack, and then when Republicans...
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. Do you have a better way of articulating your point that you're trying to make? I have no idea. I can't respond to something that I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, my next comment is that lady Judith that was on. She needs to be in a mental institution. She is really like you. There,
Dominic is done with you.
Marco, you're the one that deserves to be in a mental institution. There's nothing wrong with Judith. You're the one that calls up here day after day trying to find out a way to hate. Or I can't imagine being this dude's woman, his wife. This dude would make you commit suicide. Can you imagine being stuck living with somebody like that? And you got the nerve to lash out at Judith when all Judith did was tell the truth? Dude, you call up here and you never have anything of value to say. Ever. Let's go to Rose in Queens, line 4. What's on your mind, Rose?
Oh, hi. Well, I think it's very good that Mamdani is hosting a pro-Palestinian activist. I think it's about time. And, I remember there was a time that...
Whoa. About time for what?
That the pro-Palestinian side got recognition in the USA. And
Dominic is done with you.
Not today, Rose. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Joe in New Jersey. Do me a favor, Rose. Call another show. I don't know. Why do I get the nuts? Carlos, why do I get the nuts? Why? Why do all the people that go clearly against the agenda of what I stand for, why do they want to call me? There are, 18 shows on in a day? This woman, Rose, literally just called me up. I had to listen to her twice to make sure I heard her right. Lady, don't you understand? I'm 1,000% pro-Israel. And I don't care what happens to those savages, the Palestinian community, to be honest with you, with Hamas. And you think it's good that they get their say? Why would you call me up to tell? Carlos, I don't get it. I don't get it, folks. I really don't get it. Let's see here. Let's go to Dave, line 4, Long Island. What's on your mind, Dave?
Dominic, I want to ask you a question. Who would have been the better mayor, though? Cuomo, Sliwa, or Mamdani? And if you say Cuomo,
by far
the guy that
Cuomo.
gave us cashless bail?
By far Cuomo, because he's a politician. By far Cuomo. It ain't even close. Why do you think Trump wanted Mr. Sliwa out of the race? By far Cuomo. We wouldn't be dealing with this nonsense. I'd be criticizing Cuomo right now, but at least we'd be having rational conversations. I mean, at the end of the day, and Lord, please help me to stop talking about this man because it serves me no point. At the end of the day, and they're giving me the sign, I got to read. See, that's a good thing. I got to read this cue here. On America's darkest day, 9/11, America vowed to never forget. Help our nation to never forget. Please help T2T.org.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?